all men should watch. Women don't care about what you do for them. They only want these 5 things, modern stoic. Love is not about giving everything you have, but about giving what is needed and unknown. There's a tough truth that many men need to face, even if it stings. No matter how much you do for her, it's not always enough. You could shower her with gifts, solve all her problems, or be available 24/7. But if you're not meeting her deeper needs, it won't matter. At some point, she may drift away, lose interest, or begin to treat you as replaceable. You'll be left wondering, after everything I did, how could she walk away? Welcome to a space where we speak candidly and without sugarcoating things. Today's topic is uncomfortable, but it's absolutely essential. The 5 things women truly want, and why all the effort you've been putting in could mean nothing if those needs aren't being met. This isn't about criticizing women, it's about understanding them. Once you learn what truly matters to her beneath all the social media cliches and polite exchanges, you'll stop wasting your time, money, and energy on the wrong things. So why do so many good men get walked all over? It's because they believe that being kind, loyal, and generous will automatically win a woman's heart. Unfortunately, that's not how attraction works. Women don't fall for the effort, they fall for the impact. Today, we're tearing away the myths and illusions. No more wondering if being the good guy is enough. I'll guide you through the 5 core things a woman actually wants from a man. Once you understand these key elements, you'll stop overgiving and start standing out. Let's break this down. Number 1. Validation makes you weak in her eyes. Seeking validation is a trap you must avoid. Let me put it plainly. Everyone enjoys a compliment. It feels good to hear you're appreciated. But when your self-worth is tethered to hearing these affirmations, especially from her, you're not being validated, you're begging. And women can see it from a mile away. When you constantly seek validation, you're not just unattractive, you're repellent. It signals that you lack inner strength. You're saying, I need you to tell me I'm worthy before I can believe it myself. The moment she detects that, the dynamic shifts. No longer does she look up to you. She starts looking down on you. She may not even realize it consciously, but it happens. When a man is perpetually chasing approval, he becomes a follower. And a follower is never someone who attracts respect. Understand this. Fishing for compliments, over-explaining yourself, or anxiously asking, are you mad? When she's quiet, all of that is draining your masculine energy. Deep down, you know it. You feel the weakness creeping in when you shrink in moments that require you to hold your ground. When you apologize for setting boundaries just to keep the peace. When you tailor your words to avoid her pulling away. That is not strength. It's performance. And every time you perform, you train her not to respect you. But don't get it twisted. I'm not telling you to be cold or robotic. What I'm saying is your core identity cannot be up for negotiation every time she's upset. You cannot outsource your self-worth to her. If you do, you teach her one thing, that your value is negotiable. No woman wants that. It's draining and unsexy. She wants a man who is rooted, grounded, a man who can stand firm in silence, in distance or in conflict, without flinching, without crumbling, without chasing. That's the man who is truly magnetic. That's the man she craves. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Epictetus famously said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Why? Because the Stoics knew the truth. You can't base your self-worth on fleeting external validation. The opinions of others are unstable foundations. You cannot build a solid life on the unpredictable nature of someone else's mood. A man who embodies Stoicism doesn't avoid emotions. He just doesn't surrender control of them to anyone else. He remains rooted no matter what the world throws at him. So how do you break the habit of seeking validation? Start by noticing it. Pay attention to the subtle moments, when she leaves you on red, when you feel the urge to explain yourself to avoid conflict, when you feel a dip in your confidence because she's less responsive. Catch it, name it, and don't act on it. Instead, ask yourself, what would the man I want to become do in this moment? Not the frightened boy, not the eager pleaser, the man. That's where your power is. And when you live from that place, she will sense it. Your energy will shift from needy to magnetic, from reactive to composed. You'll no longer be waiting for her approval because you'll already know you're enough. Stop outsourcing your worth. Stop seeking validation from anyone, especially her. The moment you stop chasing it, you'll see your power grow, you'll stop shrinking, you'll stand taller, grounded, and unwavering. You'll become the man who holds his frame no matter the circumstance. That's the man who earns respect. That's the man who attracts real, lasting admiration. And once you start living by those Stoic principles, the world will notice. She will notice, because you won't be seeking her validation. You'll already be enough. If you've made it this far, you're already breaking free from the chains of self-doubt and insecurity. Most men stay stuck, endlessly seeking approval, but you're stepping into your true power. Now, it's time to take the next step. Comment below with this statement, I am enough, and I no longer seek validation from anyone. When you claim that, you'll begin to see your energy shift. You'll stop chasing approval and start commanding respect. Let's make this transformation together. Your journey starts now. Number 2. Effort doesn't equal desire. Effort alone doesn't lead to desire. It's a harsh truth, but one that many men need to hear. We're raised to believe that if you try harder, if you give more of yourself, you'll get more in return. We see it in sports, at school, and in business. But when it comes to relationships with women, that effort doesn't always work the way you think it should. In fact, trying too hard, especially too early, can backfire, making you seem desperate, emotionally needy, and low value. And that's not attractive. The reality is uncomfortable. Just because you're doing a lot doesn't mean she feels anything for you. Desire is emotional, not logical. She's not going to think, oh, he texts me every morning and bought me dinner twice. Maybe I should like him now. It doesn't work that way. She wants to feel something deeper, something she can't quite explain. And that feeling doesn't come from all the things you do for her. It comes from your presence, your confidence, and your unpredictability. Think about it. A guy meets a woman and starts doing everything he can to win her over. He buys her gifts, offers to drive her everywhere, showers her with compliments, and answers her texts in seconds. He's convinced he's showing how serious he is. But from her perspective, it's too much, too soon. She begins to wonder, why is he trying so hard? What's he really after? Why doesn't he seem to have anything else going on? Contrast that with a man who doesn't overextend himself. He shows interest, but he doesn't go overboard. He has his own life, his own rhythm. He engages with her, but he doesn't try to impress her. That man piques her curiosity. She feels something she can't explain, and that feeling grows into attraction. The message is simple. Effort without impact is just wasted energy. You're not being judged on how much you do for her. You're being judged on how you make her feel. That's what desire is built on. Work smarter, not harder. If effort alone worked, every nice guy would be married by now. This truth connects deeply with the modern Stoic perspective. You focus on what you can control, and you let go of the need to force outcomes. The blessing of Stoicism is learning how to embrace balance, knowing that true attraction isn't built on constant effort, but on the calm and confident energy you project. The old Stoic teachings remind us that desire isn't won by doing everything for someone. Instead, it's won by being present, by cultivating inner peace, and by having the self-assurance to remain true to yourself. So stop overextending. Stop trying so hard. The more you let go, the more you'll have everything you truly want. Number 3. Nice guys are her safety net, not her choice. Nice guys often end up as the emotional backup, the guy she calls when everything goes wrong, but never the one she chooses. You know the type, kind, supportive, always available, the one who listens without judgment, gives without hesitation, and waits for her to finally notice him. But here's the truth. She doesn't choose him. She chooses the man who brings something more than just niceness. You can be sweet and caring, but if you're predictable, if you're always the safe option, you become invisible. Women appreciate nice guys, sure, but what they really crave is excitement, mystery, and a bit of challenge. Niceness, without any edge, isn't enough to spark desire. It's not that women hate nice guys, it's that a man who never challenges her, never says no, becomes a guarantee, not a man who creates tension or intrigue. When she knows you'll always be there, no matter what, she doesn't feel compelled to choose you. She wants someone who isn't just there to meet her needs, but someone who has strength, direction, and the ability to set boundaries. She needs a man who can challenge her emotionally, someone who brings more than just comfort. That's where attraction lies. If you're always waiting for her to notice you, hoping your kindness will be rewarded with love, you're making a mistake. Attraction doesn't work that way. You must live for yourself first, not for her approval. Being nice isn't bad, but being a nice guy who bends over backward to avoid tension and suppress his own needs is emotional self-erasure. This is where Stoic lessons come into play. Your peace shouldn't rely on her validation. You need to be whole on your own, like the Stoics, strong, grounded, and self-reliant. Stop waiting for her to choose you and start building yourself from the inside out. Be the man who doesn't need approval, who can walk away if things aren't right. The challenge is what creates respect and desire, and that's what sets you apart. Drop this in the comments. I lead with strength and direction. Number 4. She craves emotional power, not presence. Here's the truth. Most men don't get it. Women don't fall for the man who gives them everything. They fall for the man who stirs something deep within them. It's never about what you give her, but about how you make her feel emotionally. So many men try to buy love or loyalty through gifts and constant attention, thinking if they give enough, she'll choose them. But that's a mistake. Women crave emotional power, not just your presence. They want to feel like they have your attention, your energy, your focus, but without having full control of it. Relationships are about power dynamics, and most men unknowingly give up that power. You could spend money on her birthday, plan every detail, treat her like a queen, and yet she might still feel emotionally disconnected. Why? Because it's not about the things you do. It's about the way she feels when she's around you. If she feels in control of everything, if she has the certainty, the emotional leverage, she'll quickly lose interest. Women don't want to be worshipped. They want to be engaged emotionally. They crave the ride, the emotional highs, the tension, the curiosity, and the unpredictability of it all. Predictability isn't romantic. Emotional depth and engagement are. This is where most men go wrong. They confuse providing for a woman with emotionally satisfying her. Those are two entirely different things. You can be generous, loving, and thoughtful, but you can't let her take all the emotional power. The moment you make her feel like she controls everything, she begins to see you as someone she can manage. And once that happens, the attraction fades. Women don't just want to be treated well, they want to feel alive around you. It's not about buying affection, it's about creating a connection that moves her emotionally. As the Stoics believed, true power lies in controlling your emotions, in building resilience, and mastering your inner strength. Don't give away your emotional power, don't give in to predictability. Make her feel something real. Stop trying to buy what can only be earned through emotional depth and unpredictability. When you master this, you will understand that true emotional connection doesn't come from material gestures. It comes from your ability to stir her heart and soul. Number 5. Being needed is not the same as being wanted. Being needed is not the same as being wanted. There's a dangerous illusion many men fall into, thinking that if they're the one who fixes her problems, supports her through the chaos, and lifts her up when she's down, they'll somehow earn their place in her heart. It feels noble, it feels masculine. But here's the harsh truth. Being needed is not the same as being wanted. In fact, in many cases, the two are opposites. Need creates dependency, and dependency is not about desire, it's about survival. A woman might lean on you, cling to you, out of fear or convenience, but clinging isn't choosing. Clinging is survival, and it's not the energy you want to build attraction on. When someone needs you, it means you serve a purpose. But when someone wants you, it means you are the purpose. And deep down, you've probably felt this shift yourself. Perhaps you've been there, being the one she turns to when everything's falling apart. Maybe she cried on your shoulder, vented her frustrations, leaned on you financially or emotionally. In those moments, you felt needed. You felt important. But as soon as she found her stability again, as soon as her life started coming back together, something changed. She pulled away. You became less interesting. You weren't needed anymore, and that's when the pain hits. You realize she never truly wanted you. She didn't see you for who you were. She saw you for what you could provide. Useful doesn't mean desirable. It doesn't mean magnetic. It means replaceable. And let that sink in. Being needed is not the same as being wanted. Stoicism teaches us to seek clarity, not comfort. And the clarity here is clear. Being someone's emotional crutch is not the same as being their emotional anchor. How can you tell the difference? It's simple. When someone truly wants you, they engage with you when they don't have to. There's no emotional crisis, no breakdown. They seek you out because they desire you, not because they're desperate. They want your presence when things are good, when they don't need you to fix anything. They value your thoughts, your company, even when they're not broken. They're drawn to you, not because you're offering a solution to their chaos, but because they simply want you in their life. And what kind of man attracts this kind of desire? Not the man who's constantly trying to be needed, the one bending himself into usefulness. It's the man who stands firm in his identity, who doesn't seek validation through others' dysfunction. The man who is whole within himself. That is the energy that attracts others. You must understand. Being needed is about their lack. Being wanted is about your presence. When your worth is tied to how much someone needs you, you'll find yourself chasing after relationships that are unstable, chaotic, emotionally fragile. That's not power, that's a trap. Your value should never be defined by someone else's emotional turmoil. Stop trying to be someone's savior. Stop offering yourself as a solution to their problems. Start showing up as a standard. A man with clear boundaries. A man who walks away when the dynamic becomes one-sided. When you're no longer a partner, but a crutch. The truth is hard. When you build a connection based on being needed, you're building a ticking time bomb. Eventually, she'll no longer need you. And if the relationship was never built on mutual desire, it will wither and die the moment she regains her strength. Don't fall into the trap. Be wanted, not needed. You must walk away from dependency, stand in your power, and let that power be your magnet. Number 6. She wants to feel challenged, not worshipped. She doesn't want to be worshipped. She wants to be challenged. Let's get this clear. She doesn't need a fan who constantly praises her, putting her on a pedestal. That might seem romantic to you, but to her, it feels empty. Women don't crave perfection. They crave polarity. And here's the thing. Polarity doesn't come from endless admiration. It comes from challenges. But challenge isn't about arguing, nagging, or picking fights. That's immature. Real challenge is about energy. It's about meeting her where she's strong and pushing where she's soft. It's about standing firm in your own beliefs, being willing to disagree without the fear of losing her, and holding your ground when she tests your boundaries. This is where Stoic lessons come in: strength, self-control, and leadership. You don't need to suppress your true feelings or mold yourself to her expectations. Instead, you need to lead, to be a force in her life, not someone who bends to her every whim. If you start shaping yourself around her, constantly trying to please her, you lose the essence of what makes you attractive. You become predictable, soft, and easy to dominate. Women don't respect men they can dominate, and that's where worship traps you. The moment you flip the polarity, When she feels more masculine than you, the attraction fades. It's a slow shift, but it's inevitable. She may stay, but emotionally, she's already checked out. Challenge keeps the spark alive. It's emotional tension done right. But if you've been bending over backwards to say the right things, to keep the peace, all while suppressing your own thoughts and desires, that's where you've gone wrong. You've become a follower, not a leader. The key is to stop worshipping her and start challenging her in a respectful way. You need to lead with strength, not submission. The Stoic life is about controlling your emotions, not letting them control you. When you lead from this place, when you challenge her with integrity, she'll respect you, and the attraction will grow. She doesn't want a man she can control. She wants a man who can stand firm, who has his own boundaries, his own energy. This is the essence of polarity, the power that keeps a relationship strong. So stop worshipping her and start challenging her. This is how you keep the attraction alive. Be the man who challenges her, and she'll rise to meet you. Please comment. I will challenge her, not worship her. And let's keep this conversation going. Number 7. Mystery beats consistency every time. Let's get straight to the point. Mystery beats consistency every time. Don't kid yourself. If you've ever caught yourself thinking, I just need to show her I'm dependable, or if I keep being consistent, she'll eventually see my worth, then you're already playing the wrong game. You might not even know you're playing, but trust me, you are. When it comes to attraction, especially female attraction, mystery is the ace up the sleeve that will always trump predictability. Now, before you dismiss this, I know what you're thinking. We've all been taught that being reliable, available, and steady is the key to making a woman feel secure. And while consistency isn't entirely worthless, there's a major flaw in the mindset that many guys get caught up in. The problem is that consistency, when it lacks polarity, inevitably becomes monotony. So what happens? You show up every day. You text good morning, you check in, you plan dates, you shower her with compliments. You're steady, predictable, safe. But slowly, without even realizing it, something shifts, and she starts to feel like there's nothing left to discover about you. Why? Because when you're too consistent, there's no mystery. She can predict your every move, your every word. There's no excitement, no spark, no tension. And, worst of all, that emotional gravity you need to create attraction is simply not there. She knows what's coming next, and that kills the spark of desire. You need to understand this. Desire thrives in contrast. It thrives in uncertainty. But let me clarify, we're not talking about insecurity here. There's no need for that. We're talking about a healthy kind of uncertainty, the kind that leaves her wondering, does he really like me? What's he thinking? What's he going to do next? That's the space where attraction is born. The nice, predictable guys, those who over-explain, overextend, and overcommit, leave nothing to the imagination. They kill the very thing that makes women lean in, curiosity. On the other hand, the guy who doesn't always text back right away, the one who doesn't overshare, the one who pops up unpredictably but with purpose, that guy leaves a trail of emotional tension that she can't help but follow. And here's the kicker. That tension is where the magic happens. It's the birthplace of attraction. You see, this isn't just about playing games or being distant. It's about maintaining that delicate balance between showing interest and leaving enough unsaid to create that emotional gravity. Think about it. The modern Stoic knows that too much consistency makes them predictable, while the old Stoic understood that the true art of attraction is rooted in mystery and space. The Blessing of Stoicism teaches us to embrace unpredictability and balance in life, even in relationships. Being steady is fine, but without the mystery, you're just another face in the crowd. The true power lies in knowing when to be present and when to hold back, creating a dynamic that sparks curiosity and ultimately desire. It's the blessing of Stoicism at work. Number 8. The less you react, the more she feels. In life and relationships, one powerful principle stands above all. The less you react, the more impact you have. In relationships, many men are taught to always be emotionally available, to respond quickly, and to reassure constantly. The conventional wisdom suggests that being hyper-responsive will make a woman feel loved, secure, and desired. But the reality is far from it. The truth is, constantly reacting doesn't create connection. It diminishes it. The man who doesn't react is the one who remains the focus of her thoughts. And this isn't a game. It's a rule of human nature. As Stoic principles teach us, restraint, rather than overreaction, is the path to true strength. Restraint doesn't mean being cold, distant, or disappearing into silence. It means maintaining calm in the face of emotional turbulence. It means observing, not reacting. It's about standing firm, no matter what the emotional storm may be. Every woman will test you. She will want to see, can I move him? Can I shake his core? Can I trigger an emotional reaction out of him? The moment you give in to that emotional push, you forfeit your power. You stop being the rock and become just another wave in the tide of her emotions. But if you remain composed, unshaken, you shift the energy. You become the emotional anchor in the relationship. You become the one who leads. You must understand this. When you hold your ground and maintain your center, you make her curious. Your silence speaks volumes. It's the absence of chaos that creates the space where true connection can be built. Think about this. Reaction often stems from insecurity. It's the fear of losing her, of the silence, of not fixing the moment right away. But that fear energy is like a silent leak that exposes your weakness. And once she detects it, she knows she has the power in the relationship. If she feels she's emotionally leading, she may stay physically. But emotionally, she's already begun to detach. Women want to be led, not managed. Leadership is not about control. It's about direction, calm, intention, and yes, silence when needed. If she's upset, rushing in with apologies and frantic reassurances won't give her the safety and security she craves. It will make her feel like she's with a boy, not a man. But when you meet her gaze, stand grounded and say, I hear you. Take your time. You introduce masculine energy into the conversation. You don't chase. You don't react. You respond. That's the real power. Remember, the less you react, the more she feels. This isn't manipulation. It's emotional gravity. It's the space where she wonders what you're thinking, where your calm invites her to reflect, to feel, and to question. And in that questioning, she's drawn to you. You've created a pull without even trying. As Marcus Aurelius, a master of Stoicism, once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Don't chase validation. Don't react to every emotion. And most importantly, don't be afraid to let her feel the absence of your response. It's in that space you'll find the true power of Stoicism and your place as the grounded, calm leader in your relationship. Bonus. If she doesn't earn you, she won't value you. Let's face it, if she doesn't earn you, she won't value you. The truth might sting a bit, but deep down you know it's real. Society has sold you the idea that to win a woman over, you need to be constantly available, generous with your time, pouring out your heart and showing her how much you care. Sounds noble, right? And sure, those things aren't inherently wrong, but they are not the secret to keeping her around. Here's the thing you must understand. If she doesn't have to earn your attention, affection, or commitment, she won't truly appreciate it. You've probably seen this scenario unfold in your own life, giving her everything, putting her needs ahead of your own, maybe even sacrificing your own self-respect in the process, only to have her pull away. She starts cold, distant, and less interested, leaving you scratching your head, wondering what went wrong. The answer? You gave too much, too soon, without requiring anything in return. People, whether men or women, don't cherish what comes too easily. When you give away your time, your energy, your heart, and your resources without making her invest, you inadvertently place yourself in the available by default category. And trust me, you never want to be someone's default. You want to be a prize, a reward, something worth working for, not just a consolation prize someone settles for when nothing better comes along. That's the hard truth of human nature, and if you want to navigate relationships with strength, you need to realize this fundamental principle. Now, here's where most men get it wrong. They assume that making her earn them means playing hard to get or being emotionally distant. That's not the case. It's not about games or tactics. It's about living by your standards, not arbitrary rules. It's about having clarity on the kind of energy and effort that's worthy of your time. You must know exactly what kind of presence gets access to you, and that access should be reserved for someone who matches your energy, your values, and your effort. This is where the blessing of Stoicism comes into play. When you live as a modern Stoic, you don't just react to the whims of others. You create a life of purpose, filled with boundaries that reinforce your worth. Your presence is not a given. It's something that must be earned through mutual respect and equal effort. That's what earning you truly means. This isn't about creating hoops for her to jump through, nor is it about punishing her for anything. It's simply about knowing your worth, understanding what you bring to the table, and never settling for less than someone who recognizes it. As an old Stoic would tell you, your peace and happiness don't depend on someone else's validation. They come from within. When you stop giving away yourself too freely, you'll discover the power of true attraction, not based on neediness, but on mutual respect and effort. So let me be clear. Stop showing up as someone who's constantly available and seeking approval. Start living by the standards that reflect who you are and what you deserve. You are not a consolation prize, and your attention is not free for the taking. Make her earn it by showing up with the same level of energy and commitment you're willing to give. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, a life led by strength, clarity, and boundaries, where your value is recognized, respected, and, most importantly, earned. All right, gentlemen, that wraps up today's video. I hope you found this information valuable and eye-opening. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, share this with anyone who could use a little clarity, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on content like this. I'm all about helping you level up and live a life of purpose. And hey, if you've got any thoughts, feedback, or just want to dive deeper into today's topic, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below, and let's keep the conversation going. Feel free to express your opinions. Whether you agree, disagree, or have something to add, your voice matters here. We're all about learning and growing together. Remember, the power to shape your life, your relationships, and your purpose is in your hands. So, stay strong, set your boundaries, and keep living with intention. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.